do some movement today, and what I'd like to say is that for stress management, one of the keys is not only moderating what comes in, that's a really big aspect, noticing what you bring in. It's also that we bring in things, right? We see, we hear, we bring in things, and then our body has to digest that. So that stress, even though this is not seen, there's muscles that are tense during that stress response. So there may be some tension we need to release from our body. And then we want to metabolize the stress hormones because there's a biochemical response to stress in our body. Cortisol increases blood sugar. Insulin is secreted by the pancreas. Inflammation increases if insulin is being secreted in larger quantities or too often. So it really is the amount of time we subject ourselves to stress that can be the problem. So let's take this next hour plus to really tap into not bringing anything else in. So really closing our eyes. If you can close your eyes and practice, that's really a wonderful thing. I've tried to really refine my cueing and my guidance so that you could listen to me and follow along. And of course, if you need to look, that's great as well. But to really go inside and to drop from here to here. So to go from the mind to the body is very important when it comes to stress management. So yes, stress management, making sure we moderate what comes in is really important. Closing your eyes if you can, that's what I recommend. Early on when I began to practice yoga, I always closed my eyes. I don't know why, but for me, it's really great when I can go inside. So we're going to leave everything that we could be bringing in. You can bring in me through sight and sound, but everything else, let's try to leave everything else out of our field of awareness. And we're going to go inside, release some of that stored muscular tension, metabolize those stress hormones, and move our body and flow through our joints. So that's what we're going to do. And depending on where you are, if you are chilly, when we go down on the ground, that can have it can make you cold. So it would be nice for you to have a lot of items to make you comfortable. I am going to start today with a supported chest expansion. And so for today's practice, a block, a strap, at least one blanket at the minimum. 2, if you have a lot of tightness and you have some postural issues that you're aware of. And then if you're cold, that would be great to have another blanket for you as well. So to take the blanket that's behind your spine, I think we all need this because we all sit too much. So if you have this in your back at all, and not as severe, of course, as I'm doing now, and a lot of you do, probably, and I see it more often in men than in women. And maybe because they're taller, maybe because they look down more, I don't know what it is. And then it's because of that forward presentation in the body. So if you have activities that you do in your life, and even activities like cycling and things that are good for us that we do that are forward. So this is going to be a little bit of correction for that. I would like you to take one blanket and fold it in this is here, so this is going to be about, 10 inches? Trying to really target this part of the spine, leaving the upper thoracic and the cervical spine out of this, really trying to target that mid-thoracic, right in the middle rib cage, behind your heart, behind your lungs, to create more expansion for breath. I don't know if I mentioned this in here. This is my stress class, but I do focus a lot on aging, and what they've found is the difference between a younger person and an aging adult is lung capacity. So this here is actually going to even help to accentuate our ability to breathe deeper. Now, some of you, depending on how much roundness you do have in your spine, may need something up at the top. It may be a thin blanket, or it may be a thicker fold. But what I would suggest is that you try not to go so high when you support your head that you bring your head too far forward of your chest. It already is. And you can use this position we're putting ourselves in here. This can be used actually as correcting your posture. So lots of great benefits from a supported extension position. And I would say that this is across the board good for most. Now make sure you're not too high here, because recently someone told me she did really high elevation. She was watching someone, and I don't know what she put under her back, but she did such a big opening, and her arm was really with gravity pulling towards the floor, and she hurt her shoulders. So you want to be careful that what you do is appropriate for you. Let's take ourselves down so that the blanket is behind the heart, and move yourself so that you get it there. And at first, the knees are bent, feet are flat, arms are down alongside your body. Really important that we take care of ourselves, right? And we learn about our body. That's a really important thing here. If you're over 40, it's really about preserving what you live in, not trying to break it down and go crazy and get that six-pack abs, although maybe some of you still are. And anyway, it's about preserving what we have and keeping it functional and mobile and fluid and happy. So let's push our feet into the floor. Let's arrange that lower spine. Take your pelvis, lift your pelvis off the floor, and then a posterior tilt, so that when you come to put your pelvis down to the floor, you're going to lengthen your pelvis away from your rib cage. So find that in your body, and then place the top edge of the pelvis and the sacrum on the floor, and then allow the sacrum to touch the floor. Now that's a little length in that lower lumbar, so we'll see if that feels okay for you. Knees are bent, feet are wider than the body, and the knees fall in towards each other. And then see what happens if you walk your feet away from your body a little bit more. Maybe that feels better for you. Find what feels better, closer or farther. Find something that's appropriate. And then you're going to take the arms, hold your head, lift your head up, and arrange your neck nice and long. If you'd like to hold your head and lengthen and actually correct the position of your head so it's the center towards the bottom where you feel the most pressure of your head against whatever it's touching, whether it's the floor or another blanket or something. And so you have nice length in your spine, trying to arrange yourself nice here. And then when you go with the arms out to the side, go slowly. Take the arms straight out to the side with the palms up. And maybe you need to take a couple of breaths here. Closing your eyes, go inside your body, be in your spine right now so that you feel where tension may exist. You're lengthening your spine. You placed it in a certain position. Notice what you notice here when you did that. And then I want to give you a little guidance on this. I'm trying to get you into the deepest, safest stretch possible for you in this supported spinal extension. And the other day someone said to me, I can't get my arms really close to my head. And the goal is not to have your arms close to the head. Your goal is to feel your way into the deepest, safest stretch for your body right now. So close your eyes. Palms are up towards the sky. The backs of the hands are touching the floor and the fingers. We always want the back of the hand to stretch to touch the floor. That's important. And the reason why is because one of the rotator cuff muscles, once we start to bend our arm, that's where you're going to start to feel that tightness of one of those rotator cuff muscles. So you're only going to be able to go as far as you can. And this is important because it helps to keep that upper arm bone deep in the shoulder joint to preserve the health of your shoulder. Take your arms to the side. Slowly start to slide your fingertips on the floor and the backs of the hands on the floor so that your hands are coming closer towards your head. Go slow. You may actually be able to feel stuff happening underneath the armpit. You may feel it on one arm more than the other. Just noticing what you notice here. Developing your interoception, inner body awareness. And wherever you stop, let that be where you rest. Wherever you're feeling the appropriate stretch, bring your awareness to your chest and soften the upper right side. And then soften the upper left side. Let your hands rest. Let the back of the hands rest. The fingers may start to curl inward. And then press the center of the head slowly into the floor. See if you feel that traveling all the way down to the bottom of your spine. And then go ahead and release. Again, take the center of the head closer to the neck. So not up towards the top of your head. Center and then about
1 inch down towards your neck. Press that part of your head slowly into the floor. Feel that moving down the spine. Maybe you feel that. It does happen. It fires up the support of the back of the body. So we're going to do a little posterior chain, which is the back of your body, stimulation in this position. So bring your awareness to about 3 inches below the belly button, and imagine there's a tennis ball in your belly, underneath your skin, sitting right on top of your spine. You can take an inhale, and on the exhale, feel like you're pushing that tennis ball closer to the spine, as if your fingers were gently pushing, or the muscles in this case, gently pushing the front of the belly back towards the spine. Go slow, go strong. Feel how the low back moves towards the floor, and you feel the pressure in the sacrum. Maybe you feel the top edge of your pelvis going into the floor a little bit more, and then slowly softening the belly, relaxing, letting your self go back to a neutral, noticing what you notice along the way. Again, do that 2 more times. Contracting the core towards center and then pushing down towards the spine. Feel the low back moving towards the floor. And then go slow. There's a lot of muscular action here, so you'll feel the heat, and maybe you'll even feel the muscle aspect. Again, on the exhalation, contracting and pressing down slowly so you can feel and experience core contraction and how it actually posteriorly tilts the pelvis. And then bring yourself away to neutral. For those of you that have low back issues, this is a nice thing to do when you're in an acute back pain phase, when you're feeling that throbbing, burning, stabbing, whatever it is, to actually add a little bit of flexion into the lower lumbar and a little support from the front of the body. So the core is the front of the back, and that can come to the rescue for those of you with back issues. And then if you're doing anything like gardening or any kind of forward movements like cycling or spinning or Peloton, if anybody's doing that, you press the belly towards the spine to help support that low back when you're in that forward flexion position. Bring your awareness now up your spine to your shoulder blades. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, press the shoulder blades towards the floor. A little bit harder with the arms like this, maybe, or maybe not. And then go ahead and release. You have your shoulder blades behind this prop. Inhale, and on the exhale, press the shoulder blades towards the prop. Go slow. Notice what happens to your rest of your spine. Notice what happens to the low back. 1 more inhale. And as you exhale, shoulder blades towards the spine or towards the floor. They're already on the other side of the spine. And then go ahead and release. Bring your awareness up to the center of your head. Inhale. Exhale, press the center of the head into the floor. Strong, strong, strong. And then release. Feel the back neck turning on. So go slow and go strong. Exhale, press into the floor. Inhale to release. And then 1 more. Press center of the head into the floor. And then release. Bring your awareness to all 3 of those areas, 3 inches below your belly button, shoulder blades, and center of the head. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, activate all 3 at once and feel the strength in your torso when you do that. Inhale to release. Exhale to activate. Inhale to release. 1 more. Exhale to activate. Press the low belly, the shoulder blades, and the center of the head into the floor or the props. And then release. Take your arms overhead. Stretch your arms overhead. Take your arms by the side, and then bring your left hand on top of the heart and the right hand on top of the belly. And let the upper arm bones rest on the floor. Right hand is on the belly, left hand is on the chest. Let your fingers be soft. Bring your awareness to your right palm and breathe into your right palm, which is on your belly. Bring your awareness and your brain power to the palm of your hand so that as you breathe into the right palm, you feel the belly pressing into your hand. And keep your awareness in your palm. Now bring your awareness to your left palm, near your heart, and breathe into your left palm and into your heart. Feel the chest rise underneath your palm. Feel it pressing into your left hand. Feel the chest breathing into your left thumb, your left pointer finger, your left middle finger, ring finger, the pinky. Totally engross yourself with the sensory aspect of you breathing to your palm and the chest pressing into the palm and the fingers. So we're going to do a 3-part breath, filling the lungs from the lower lungs, the middle lungs, and the upper lungs. And then we're going to do the same thing on the exhale. We're going to exhale from the lower lungs, the middle lungs, and the upper lungs, using the primary breathing muscle, which is the diaphragm, to activate both the inhale and the exhale. Everything leads from the diaphragm, which is near the lower ribs. So let's prepare by exhaling. Breathe into the low ribs, the middle ribs, the upper ribs. Exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, upper ribs. Inhale, lower, middle, upper. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. 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 Continue on your own and use the hands as a reference to feel the parts of the lungs you're bringing the breath to. Keep your mind in your body. Keep your mind on your breath. And wherever you are, finish this breath. Take 3 more breaths like that. Feeling your body moving towards your palms. Feel both sides of your body moving. Feel the lower, feel the middle, feel the upper. You could slow down the breath if that's available to you. You could slow down the exhalation, stimulating the relaxation even further. When you finish that last breath, let the breath go. Bring your hands into a position where you move the fingers, rub the hands together. Take your hands overhead. Take one leg at a time slowly. So pick the sole of the foot off the floor so you go into an activation of the hip flexor muscles. This is important for hip health, to keep this part of your body strong, and for knee health as well. And then slowly lower that leg down towards the floor. So the arms are overhead if they'll let you. And for those of you with shoulder issues, you may need to bring your arms to the side. So let's do a little hip flexor muscle here, as long as you're feeling okay with the support behind your back. If you're not, you can move. And if you'd like, you could even double up the blanket behind your head if you have one, if you're feeling a lot of tension. So we're trying to soften up here. I'd like to do a little hip flexor work. Arms are to the side. Let's inhale, lift the right leg about 6 inches away from the floor. Then lift another 6 inches or so. It could be 3 for you, it could be 4. Another 6 inches, or whatever it is. Another. Now you'll notice you've done that in your quads. If you could go to 90, go to 90. Not everyone can. And we just began the practice, so the body may be cold. Let's lower. Lower. Take an inhale here. Lower on the exhale. Take an inhale here. Lower on the exhale. Inhale here. And then lower all the way down. If I were with you right now, it would be interesting to me because you might be noticing, wow, not easy to lift your leg up away from the floor when you're totally in a supine position. Puts a lot of force on that hip flexor muscle group. Maybe some of you notice a little low back stuff there. If you do, bring that other foot a little closer to the body, and you could press that foot into the floor to help be supportive. Let's go ahead and bend the right leg. I want you to take the left leg off the floor slowly. So we're going to go slow and thoughtful and be in our body and notice our functionality in our hip joint. Lengthen your leg away, pull the toes towards you. So it's the heel that's reaching away from you to add length in that hip area. We want to keep a nice range of motion in our joints. That's going to keep us out of pain. Take an inhale and lift the leg off the floor about 6 inches. Exhale, inhale to rise. Exhale, inhale to lift. Exhale, inhale to lift. Exhale, inhale to lift. You should be close to 90 or come to 90 if you're not there already. Inhale. Exhale. Lower. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale to lower. All the way. Bring yourself to a bent knee position. Pretty interesting, I must say. So I'll speak to myself since I'm the only one here in the room. I know you're out there, but you can't interact with me. The hip flexor muscles, one of them is the psoas. It's the filet mignon of our body. And I say that because it is the filet mignon of the cow. It's the loin of the pork loin. It attaches to your lower spine and it attaches to the inner thigh. It should be 16 inches in length, and they say that a lot of us, from all of our sitting, some people's psoas are about 16 inches or 14 inches. So that's a 2-inch loss from the way that we move our bodies. So when we do this, this is going to strengthen that. Also, one of the quadricep muscles, the rectus femoris, crosses over that hip joint as well, and it goes to the outer edge. So when you were feeling your quads, a sensation, if you were, that's why. So I'm going to tell you for my own body, because I have so much body awareness and knowledge of the skeleton and the anatomy, that when I do this, because the psoas is attached to there and my lumbar spine, I felt spinal adjustment on my left side because of my issues from having one hip replacement and one natural hip. There's a strong energetic in my body from that. So very intriguing for me to feel that. Take your arms out to the side. So it works. This is not just hokey pokey. Take your legs pretty wide here. I'd like us to do a little bit of the hip stretch while we have this extension support in the spine. If it doesn't feel good for you, you could actually take it out and just put your head on a blanket. So I want to isolate the rib cage here. So I don't want you to move your rib cage. So try to move your legs a little bit side to side. The goal is not to get to the floor. If you try to put your legs to the floor, your tushy will lift off and you're going to be in your low back. So that's not where we're at yet. First, we're doing a little bit side to side, lubricating the hip joint with synovial fluid, getting it nice and ready for us to go a little deeper. So setting it up for success. Bring yourself back to center. I also recommend that if you're active and you're still running or doing all of that stuff, that you set yourself up for success by lubricating your joints before you begin your movements so that you won't tear or pull anything. Take your feet wide, maybe off the mat, or at least heels are on and toes are off. And then you could start going a little bit wider and more to the side. Close your eyes if that's appropriate for you. Inhale when your body goes to the side. Exhale, push that belly button towards the spine. Because you have this extension here, you're going to need that support when you go into that extension. So make sure you press the belly button to the spine like we began today. And you could even do the head and the shoulder blades if you'd like. Inhale to the side. Exhale with that strong spinal support of low belly area, shoulder blades, and head. Inhale, go into a soft, letting that length come into the body. And then exhale with all of that support in your spine when you come back to center. So moving away from center, and then exhale, drawing yourself back to center. Again, the psoas here is being stretched, and it attaches to all 5 lower lumbar vertebrae. So your low back, it may be pulled on. That's why you got to really support yourself here. When you come back, press the belly button to the spine to bring the legs back up to center. Let's stay over to the left the next time you come over there. Pressing that belly button towards the spine will protect that lumbar spine. Lift your right hand off the floor and flex your wrist. Really reach out the heel of your hand. Let your left leg be soft. Let your left arm be soft. And activate your right side body as you lengthen and find that length in your body as much as you can. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Breathe down to your belly. Breathe down to the low ribs. Feel the stretch. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center, pressing the belly to the spine. You could put the shoulder blades into the floor and the middle of the head. Inhale to the other side. Take that left hand off, flex that wrist. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Reaching that left knee away from you. Be in your body. Close your eyes. Feel yourself stretching your body glove, your inner skin suit. Outer skin and the inner skin suit. Taking away the congestion, that tightness that's in the body so you can flow. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. We're going to come onto the right side and stay here for a few breaths. We've been here for a decent amount of time. So I'd like you to stay on your right side here. Let that spine relax in this position. And actually, let's do a little something else while we're here. Can you move up so that this prop is now in your waist. So in between the low ribs and where the legs attach to the body, depending on how much you rolled it up. And of course, if you need to adjust it, if you rolled it up pretty high, I actually usually do this with a bolster. So even with a bolster, you could get a stretch. Let's see if you can get a nice lateral chain stretch, even taking the arm that's under the head up and then the other hand up. Try to keep the arms by your ears, so don't let it be forward. Take your arms up overhead, fingers touch, point your toes away from you, stretching that lateral chain side. And then bend your knees. Let's take the arm. We're going to take the arm in a clockwise fashion. So I'd like you to cradle your head with your right arm. You could have the blanket there as well, or you could fold the blanket up and let the blanket be in between your arm as well. So find comfort here in that part of this. And then you're going to take the left arm. And then if you have shoulder issues, be in your shoulder. We all should be in our shoulders anyway, but especially if you have shoulder issues. We're going to try to free up and bring some mobility into that shoulder joint. This should feel pretty nice. Thinking about the congestion in the body like cobwebs in an attic. And we're going to clear the cobwebs. Take your palm down towards the ground. Knees are coming straight off of you, so you have this nice alignment here and you keep that pelvic stable. You're going to inhale, let's take the arm overhead, and then you're going to inhale when your arm comes towards the back. Reach it as long as you can, palm is up. And then when you come forward and the palm rolls down, that's your exhalation. Exhale to reach forward, and then inhale to reach up. Keep your knees where they are. Keep your lower body where it is. Only allow rotation to come into your, from your lower ribs on up. Or you could keep it simply as a shoulder mobilization, and you're only moving the arm. Inhale when the palm comes up towards the sky and the chest opens. Exhale when you come forward. Inhale when your chest is freed up. On your next one, open, stay here. Let your left arm stay to the side. Look at your left knee and slide your left leg so your kneecaps are in alignment. The kneecaps need to be in alignment. Don't let that left leg slide away. So even if you need to lift your left body away from the floor a little bit, keep the knees together. Then press your heart forward. Arm is to the side. Feel that deep stretch in the armpit. Left armpit. Take one more breath. Hopefully that feels yummy. I feel a lot of stretching in my arm, all the way even up my bicep, in my armpit. I feel that in my pectorals, in my anterior or the front of the shoulder, the anterior delt. Taking your hands behind your head, you're going to clasp your hands behind your head like this. So clasp your hands behind your head. We're going to try to take some tension from stress out of the upper back and neck. So this is called butterfly, taught to me by a physical therapist. You're going to keep the knees together, and this is important. The kneecaps stay in alignment. Don't let that left leg slide, letting the pelvis go, because I don't want you to go as far over. So it's not about going far to the left. It doesn't mean that you're so great, you're so limber. Like, let's let our egos go. Take that ego and let's sit our egos outside of the door and off of our mats. We all have it. It comes with all of us to the practice. Take the hands behind the head like this, bringing the elbows together. You're going to inhale, let your elbow go up towards the sky. Let that left shoulder blade slide towards the spine. The right arm is in the floor. And then you're only going to open up as much as you can, feeling the stretch wherever you can. This is thoracic rotation. So the spine, you exhale to come back. The spine where the ribs are, and you're going to feel stretching maybe all the way down to where your legs attach to your body. Inhale, let the elbow go up to the sky, slide the shoulder blade actively towards the spine, and then you're going to rotate open in whatever range of motion your body will let you have. Exhale to close. Close your eyes, go inside your body. Inhale as we swipe away the cobwebs from our back body, side body, underneath our arms. And then on your next one, you're going to stay here, stay open. Inhale and stay here. Feel that stretch wherever you experience it. If you feel it in your low back and it's uncomfortable, you could press your belly button or below your belly, just like we were doing earlier with the tennis ball, pressing about 3 inches below the belly towards the spine pretty strongly. And then reaching and stretch, create as big of a stretch as you can comfortably. Make sure your kneecaps are in alignment. Breathe down to your belly. Take one more breath. And then let's go ahead and slowly come out. We're going to come to the other side. So go ahead and roll towards your other side. I'm going to reposition myself so that I can face you. So the prop is in between your lower ribs and where your legs attach. And then we're going to cradle our head. And then actually remember, we're going to do that lateral chain stretch. So stack your legs right on top of each other and then bring the arms up overhead. Arms are alongside your ears. So feel that stretch. Pull the lower ribs away from the top of the pelvis, right here where all the attachment of those muscles are. So create more space in your waist. And you'll notice there's a little balance challenge here, right? Proprioceptive nervous system is like, what? It's used to balancing on the feet or on the seat, and now it's balancing on the side. We don't do this very often. So a little nervous system action here. Take one more breath. And then we're going to bring ourselves out. Let's take your head in your arm. So cradle your head in your arm. We're going to do that shoulder mobilization. Bring your legs so that they're directly away from your body. And then actually bring your feet right underneath your knees. So you have hips, knees, ankles. It's like the shape of a letter L or a 90-degree angle. We're going to do that shoulder mobilization. So let's prepare. Let's take a exhale and an inhale. And let's begin. Exhale, bring the hand forward, palm is down. And then inhale when your palm comes up. Exhale when your palm goes down. Inhale when your palm goes up. Don't let your knees slide away from each other. Exhale when the palm goes down. Feel this in your body. Close your eyes. Synovial fluid secretion in the shoulder joint, moving that rotator cuff. Shoulder blades are gliding up and down the back, and then feel all of that stretch underneath the armpit area. This is a pretty special place in our body. Right in the chest area, there's a small opening where the nerves that go down to the fingers and the wrist and the arm come out of the cervical spine. So we want to keep this unobstructed and open. And we have a lot of lymphatic vessels and nodes underneath our arms. So we want to keep that nice and open for immune health. And then one of the detoxification pathways of the body is the skin. And the under armpit area is where we sweat and release toxins. So that's one of the purifications for our blood, is to sweat out impurities through the skin. So all of that, not hokey pokey, all legitimate, all real reasons why this is amazing. And then let's not even talk about how yummy it feels. On the next one, I want you to stay towards the back. Stay there, allow your arm to hover in space, keep your kneecaps together. So your arm will only go and hover in space in whatever range of motion is available for you in your body. If your low back is unhappy, use the front of your back, which is known as the core, to push back towards your spine to help protect that low back. Be in your body, breathing. Take one more breath. And then let's bring yourself out. Well, I sure hope this feels good for you. It feels amazing for me. So I'm thinking it probably feels good for you guys as well. Hands are clasped behind your head. Keep the knees in alignment. And then as you inhale, just take a breath to clear. Exhale. And then begin. Inhale. Right elbow up towards the sky. Right shoulder blade slides towards the spine. And only open as much as your body will let you. Don't let that right leg slide away. So keep the knees pressing together. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Go with your breath. Try to match the pace of your movement to the pace of the breath. And then let's do one more. And stay here. You could reach your elbow a little higher. So not necessarily more towards the right, but higher to feel even more stretch in that, wherever you're feeling it. Stretching the skin, the fascia, the muscles, the connective tissue, ligaments, tendons, creating more space, more places for flowing of the nerves, of the fluids. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself all the way out. So we're going to take the blanket. Actually, we're going to come to seated. Let's take the hand on the floor that's in front, and you're going to push away from the floor strongly, leading with that shoulder to bring yourself up to a seated position. And then let's take our blanket. Fold your blanket, your knees are going to go here. Now we are going to come down onto the floor, and I wanted to show you guys a couple of props because I do think that we should actually be on all fours. We need to strengthen our wrists. This is such a precarious area for fracture in the body. So strengthening our wrists is something that is important to do for all of us. And so for those that can't weight bear, it's not that you shouldn't do it if you have a level of discomfort. You need to modify this action so that you can do it. So wedges, getting a wedge will help to minimize that flexion in the wrist joint. So that when you come into this, there's less flexion if you were on a wedge. And so that's just something I wanted to say there for you guys. All right, so let's come and crawl around our space so that we can nicely set that hip joint and that shoulder joint and all the other joints of the body, almost every joint getting nicely set here in the body. And then you're going to bring yourself back to your blanket. We're going to do a puppy dog, up dog flow. So let me show you what that looks like. If you have osteoporosis, you should not round your upper spine. So coming here into a puppy dog, the arms are pretty wide, keeping our upper back flat. If you can come all the way so that your forehead comes to the floor, you could try that. All of us could try that. Some of you, if you wanted to come all the way back into a child's, so you could do a child's pose to an up dog, child's pose to up dog, or you do puppy to up dog. And so I want you to go slow here, and I want you to be in your body. There's going to be a lot of stretching here. So begin back in whatever you're going to begin in. Take an inhale here and an exhale. And then you're going to inhale slowly to come up, loading your joints. Feet are flat on the floor, and then let the belly come towards the floor. Exhale, push the belly back towards the spine, bring your body up. Move with breath, coming back on the exhale, flexing the body. Inhale, coming through extension in the body. Stretching the hips, stretching the belly, moving the spine. Important to maintain the health of our spine. Rolling through your shoulders and your hips. So be in the shoulder, be in the hip. Let it tell you, yes, this is okay, or no, it's not. Do what's appropriate for you. And then bring yourself all the way up. Gosh, lots of cobweb clearing today. The next thing we're going to do is this. Let me show you. We're going to inhale and then exhale. Now, if you have osteoporosis, so not so much with penia, but mostly with porosis, you don't want to round the upper spine. So for osteoporosis, you're going to bring the lower leg, but not the arm in, so that you can add flexion to the lower part of the body, but you don't bring it into the upper part. So let's take the palms on the floor. Let's take the left hand away from us and the right leg away. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to lift. Exhale to draw the knee towards the elbow. Try to meet right underneath the belly button. Inhale to straighten. Exhale. And remember, if you have osteoporosis, don't bring the hand in, only do the leg part. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more. You could let the head and the neck go as well, adding a deep flexion in the body if that's appropriate. Come all the way to the extended position, and then let's switch. Put the left hand on the floor, slide right hand away, left leg. Inhale to lift, and then exhale to meet by the belly button. Inhale. Really stretch when you come to the stretch position. So stretching as much as you can. Push your fingertips into the floor. That'll help to distribute the weight that's in the hand on the floor. One more. And then let's take ourselves all the way up. Shake your hands. Shake, shake, shake. Then let's stretch our hands. Take your arm forward, flex that wrist. Take the other hand by the top part of your hand and push the hand back towards you. And then like this. Keep the elbows straight, that's important here. And then let's do the other side, the other arm. Make sure your shoulder doesn't become a shoulder earring, so keep that shoulder out of the ear. And then the other. And then shake your hands. All right, so we are going to come up. We're going to do a warrior dance, and I'm going to give a chair option and a standing option. So I'd like us to come up because I'd like us to add a little bit more of a deeper stretch in this whole pelvic area and use body weight for that. Having socks off is good for practicing, or having a sticky mat to be on,
or making sure you're safe is the goal. So if none of those two options are available for you. And then let's move the blanket before we come up so that we don't have to bend down to pick it up. So for some of you, if you may want to come up here, I'm going to go through a plank down dog flow to come up, which is a little stronger. So for some of you, you may want to do the stronger movement with me. For others, you may want to lift off the floor from here to come up. So you choose what's right for you. We're going to do a down dog plank flow. Let's take the hands forward, bring the feet wide and the knees wide. You're going to come back, and then you're going to come here, and you're going to lift your tailbone up off the floor and position your feet so they're pretty wide here. And take your heels towards the floor, especially the outside edge of the back of the heel. So really stretching that posterior chain, stretching the back, the glute area, and the legs. It's called walking your dog when you do one heel toward the floor at a time, and make it be the outer edge by the pinky toe edge. Then you're going to inhale forward into your plank. Stay here, reach out the heels, reach out the crown of the head. Take an inhale, exhale, keep a bend in your knees, inhale forward, go slow here. Exhale, tailbone up towards the sky, knees are bent. One more inhale forward, and then you're gonna come back up, push both heels into the floor if you can. Keep your head right between your arms if you can. Unbend your knees if you can. Feel that stretch. And then bend your knees, start to walk your hands back. Okay, keep yourself down, don't pop up yet. Go slow and let the blood and the fluids calibrate in your body systems. Take your hands, keep your back nice and flat here. You want to move slowly so that you don't get dizzy, and then go ahead and bring yourself up. All right, so go get a chair. Get a chair, get a strap, get a chair, get a block, and meet me back on the mat. Let's have a seat on the chair, get our strap, do a little bit to strengthen the back. Yeah, so definitely a lot of release today. Doing a lot of stretching to release stored up tension in the tissues. That's definitely happening. And then also strengthening this whole center aspect of the body. So when we were doing our leg raises earlier, stretching, strengthening the hip flexor muscle group. And then we were practicing today, pressing that middle low belly area towards the back and the shoulder blades and the head, firing up that support aspect of the body. So with the strap, I'd like to do a little bit of keeping the shoulder blades on the back of the body, because that's where we get either postural correction from that action, and also it helps with stabilizing the posture so that when we are standing or bending forward, if you have your shoulders on your back, you're less likely to come into that spinal flexion position. So let's take our strap, take your strap like this, really strong. So this could be anything. It doesn't have to be a yoga strap, anything. And then you're going to bring your arms behind your head and up above. Inhale. As you exhale, pull the strap and draw the strap down. So you're pulling on it to create a lot of tension. So you're activating the muscles and then you're using them. So if you'd like to think about the bottom tip of the shoulder blades drawing towards each other when you come down. And another key is you don't want to be touching the back of the head. You don't want the strap on the back of the head. And I know that's going to be a challenge for some of you because it just is. So try to keep the strap back away from the back of the head, and then get those tips of the shoulder blades to be moving towards each other when you come lower. So strengthening the upper back, and even arm muscles are getting involved here. And on your next one, I want you to come down and stay down. Stay there. Stay there. Bottom tip of the shoulder blades drawing in towards each other, supporting shoulder stability, spinal stability, keeping your head on top of your body. Press the strap. Don't let it rest up against your head. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. So in yoga, we create stress, the appropriate amount of stress. We work with stress. This is a stress management class. We're managing our stress. We're using it and we're trying to release it. So all of that. Okay, take your strap away from your body. Let's bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Forward, up, back, and down. So I'm gonna turn my chair to the side to show you. We're gonna come up into a chair pose. Now, for those of you that are tall, taller than 5'7" or 8, the chairs are made for 5'5". So for you guys, it'll be a little bit harder. So I would say if you're pretty tall, that if you support yourself with a folded blanket, that's going to be in your best interest to support yourself with the folded blankets. You're a little bit higher so that you have a little bit less, whatever, from a physics perspective, the angle that you enter from in your joints, the muscles have to do less, like the lever, I don't know, for all of you engineers and whatever. All right. So bring your feet closer to your body. Come to the very front edge of your chair. Feet are closer to the body. Take your hands down alongside you. You're going to inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, lift off just a little bit. Don't let your knees go in towards each other. Push your heels into the floor. Push the outside edge of the heels into the floor. The very back corner where the pinky side of the heels are. Press that into the floor. And then press your pinky toe edge into the floor. And then come up halfway. Push your toes into the floor and your pinky toe edge and your heel. Lift your arches off. As if you're trying to roll your feet so that open. So you're trying to lift them open from the arches. Take one more breath and then bring yourself all the way up. Let's come behind our chair. I don't know if we'll need the block for this part. Okay, let's come behind our chair. We're gonna do a warrior dance. So if you need to be near a wall, be near a wall. If you need to do this seated, you'll come into the warrior like this, and you'll do your dance in a seated position. Okay, so if you're in a chair, you can do a warrior dance like this. So coming at whatever leg position I do standing, you'll do it on the chair. And really, if you make sure that that front leg is supported, it gives you a little bit more range of motion in this back leg. So the chair would hit the front of the back of the knee. So that's for people that need to be in a chair, doing whatever's appropriate for you. For the rest of you, you're gonna come wide, and the chair here is gonna let you go even wider than you normally would. Let's lift up the toe, roll on the heel, so the toes are up, turn the toes to the side, and then pick up the back heel, move the back heel away from you. Very firm foundation on that back foot, very active foot. All the toes, whole pinky toe edge and the heel, and then lift the arch off the floor. Put a slight bend in that front knee. You're gonna inhale to come into this. Now you're coming into it, your body goes down. You're not going into it like this. So take your shoulders up, back, and down, and then inhale, bend that front knee and push the front knee towards the side. Look over your front fingers, push your arms back, lower your shoulders, keep them out of your ears. Turn your palm up. Inhale, reach your fingers long. Feel that stretch on the side body. Let the back hand go down the back leg. Stay here for a few breaths. This is reverse warrior. And then inhale, bring yourself forward. Take your forearm on top of your thigh. Take your other arm up to the side. Feel that nice stretch alongside your body. This is reverse warrior. This is a warrior dance. Take one more breath. On your next inhalation, come back into your reverse. Go slow. And then when you exhale, come into your to your side angle. Go through this slowly so that you feel the stretch. Use your arms to help lift that rib cage away from the pelvis. Sink as deep as you can, loading up the hips. Create some stimulation in the hip joints here. And then one more each direction. Coming into that reverse. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and unbend the leg. Bring yourself forward. Let your toes come forward. Pick up the toes, turn the toes in that direction. And then the back heel lifts up. Firm foundation right away. You even roll. If you look down, you'll see your foot rolling. You'll feel a stretch on the outside of the ankle joint. Bending that front knee, shoulders are forward, up, back, and down. Take the hands, inhale, coming into that warrior two. Look over that middle finger, press the arms towards the back, lower the shoulders. Inhale, turn the palm up here. Exhale, and then inhale into reverse. Really reach the fingers up, and then the hand that's on the leg at the back. If you could go a little deeper in that front leg, go a little deeper in that front leg. And if you can't, that's okay too. Do what's appropriate. Inhale, and then exhale. Let's come into our side angle. And then let's dance. Inhale. And exhale. Imagine that you're in a swimming pool doing this. So find the fluidity. Press your feet into the floor. Press the front leg into the floor to turn on that posterior chain. The glutes, the back of the legs. Go slow and feel the stretch here. Let it feel yummy in your body. One more. Bringing yourself into the reverse. Bringing yourself back into the warrior two, and then all the way out. Take your legs, shake, shake, shake your legs. Bring your chair. So flip your toes under, stretch the top of the feet. And if you can't get the toes, so what I notice with people is they are here because they have really tight feet. So see if you could bend that standing leg and go back a little farther to try to get that top of your foot to be on the floor. And then moving side to side, stretch your bodysuit. Come forward, take the leg so you're on the pinky toe edge. Now this is stuff that you can take off your mat. You could do this every day in your life. If you remember it when you're standing there, getting this range of motion in the ankle joint and the feet, and then come to the toes. This is important. Bend your foot so that your heel lifts off and your toes are bending, and then make sure the pinky toe is a part of this action. So part of the proper walking gait is to actually have the toes bend like this to push you off to the next step. And when people develop improper gait functionality and they don't get this bend, they end up coming onto that big the big toe area, and that's how bunions are created, because bunions are calcifications, and it's protection in your body, trying to protect you. Let's take our foot behind us, right? So when we are dysfunctional and we put our joints in a different location, the body has to come to the rescue and lay down more bone. And that's what calcifications and bone spurs come from, is really out of protection initially. So stretch the top of your foot, feel that stretch. The people that I work with that have the most precarious balance are the people with the tightest feet. One aspect. So let's not let that happen to us. Or if you're there already, let's move away from that. Flip the toe on the side, pinky toe edge. And then bend the feet. Do a horse prance, one and then the other. And then let's come into half dog. Take your, take your body. So the feet are directly underneath the pelvis if you're pretty limber. And then if you're not too limber, you can take your feet back more because your hamstrings may say no way. Try to get a flat back if you can here. Try to let your your arms be long and your head comes between them. So the hands and the arms, little distance so your head can come between. And if you'd like, you can move one knee at a time if you need to, or both legs are straight. Then press your heels into the floor, push your belly button up towards your spine. If you'd like to imagine that you have a tail,
you could actually shake your tail side to side. So you let length come into one side waist by creating space between the lower ribs and the top pelvis. And then you do the same thing on the other side. And then bring yourself back up. Just move your body like you're a piece of seaweed in the ocean. Let it be free. Let your arms go like this. Some of my new favorite movements are these. You let your elbow go to the side. Let your elbow go. Let your elbow lead the way. If you have shoulder issues, just don't go so high. And if you don't, you can let yourself go a little higher. But let it be the elbow that leads so that it's the shoulder blade goes onto the spine. And again, back to that protection of the shoulder. And then bring yourself back to center. Feet are down. Let's take our hands down alongside our body. This is Tadasana mountain pose, pose of alignment. If you can close your eyes, close your eyes. See how you're feeling. Notice the heart rate. And then let's prepare for the final pose of the day, final posture, Shavasana. You can either do that in a supine position, lying flat on your back, or you can get a chair and put your legs up a chair. So gather what you need and let's get ready for Shavasana. So bringing yourself into whatever is a good place for you to be. Bring yourself all the way down. Just notice how you feel. Bring your awareness to your breath. Deepen your breath. Bring your awareness to your fingers. Start to wiggle your fingers to your toes. And then drawing your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Feel yourself massaging the top edge of your pelvis. And then roll onto your right side. Pushing yourself up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands together. Let the palms touch the sternum bone, or the thumbs touch the sternum bone. Palms are touching, hands come to the chest, and the thumbs touch the sternum bone. And then I'd like you to think about this last hour plus and how often you were really in the present moment. How often you were aware of your body and what was happening to your body and what you were moving or stretching. And that present moment living is what allows the body to go into a repairing zone and a healing zone versus a I've got to get the heck out of here zone, which is catabolic, breaking down and freeing up energy so you can actually run or fight. We're going to close our practice today. Feel your body here. Feel yourself in your body now. Notice how you're feeling. So go up and down your body with your body scan and check in to see how you're feeling today, how you're feeling right now. We're going to close this practice with sound. We're going to blend the ah, oh, sound, bringing that sound from the bottom of the lungs all the way to the top. Let's take a big exhale to prepare. Inhale. We bow to each other in namaste. Namaste. Thank you.